Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to show you some 28mm front rank Spanish Guerillas I'm working on. Just doing the 12, they're just to sell on eBay or what I call privately, through Facebook or whatever. They've gone on quite quick actually. The only, I suppose, drawback when you're painting Guerillas are you want them not to look too uniform. Although strange enough, I have put a couple of uniforms in there with them. But generally you want to mix them up. They're supposed to be either civilians or soldiers that have lost most of their kit. So although I thought they might take me a bit longer than they have, they've not come along too bad actually. I'm just looking at them now, and I'm quite happy how they've turned out. I've done 6. I've just noticed, as we always do when you do a video, and you want to show some figures off. I could do with the powder flasks being highlighted, another highlight on those, so they'll get done in a minute, because they're not varnished yet, I should say. No varnish till I've done the 6 behind them. So we'll go down to the bench and have a quick squiz at these, and we'll just go through them all. So join me at the bench in a minute. Cheers. Thanks for joining me at the bench. I do apologise, as usual. The tripod is literally about 2mm from the edge of the bench, so at any minute it's going to fall into my lap. But we'll have a quick look at these. So I've done them, as I say, in some varied colours. Let's see. I think it's easier if I pick one up to the camera, and we'll have a look that way. Now this guy's got a militia jacket on, or one of the provincial militias, something like that. I have been looking up on. I've got the Spanish infantry book. I've done him in like a light brown trouser, and a lot of them, they've got these, let me get my pointy stick as usual, they've got like these stockings. Sometimes I've seen them in white, blue, hang on, actually pointing in the right direction, and then they've got those espadrille, like sandal, leather sandals. Well, I think they're leather anyway. So I'll see if I can get a bit of a close-up on him without torturing him. I've just got to check the rosette as well, that it hasn't got a white. I swear I've seen some with a white outer border to them, so I'm just going to check up on that. So he's got his blunderbuss. I've done a steel blunderbuss, or iron blunderbuss rather than a brass one. So that's number 1, if you want to call him that. This is where I clatter them all together and chip paint off everything. Now this guy's got a militia, if you call it jacket, cape, whatever you want to call it. It's a jacket. Again, I can't off the top of my head remember which one of the provincial units that came from, but and he's got the jacket on underneath as well. Because obviously a lot of these militia units were civilians, obviously, that came together to defend their area in time of need, just like most militias around the world. Again, darker brown jacket, the more standard Spanish brown, Portuguese, let's call it peninsular brown, that loads of armies that were on the peninsula wore, because it was a standard type cloth for these guys. Now, he's not an officer, he's just got, looks like these guerrillas had plenty of pistols, braces of pistols here and there. And this is actually it's not like a flat cap that we'd have in the UK. It's just like, I think it's like one of these just things that could have it over the side of your head. I think he's got his blanket as well. I didn't want to make the blanket too blinging, because I wanted to show it like a wool effect. And again, I've gone for the lighter trousers. Some of the cartridge boxes I've done black and some brown. Again, I've done them all with brass. These little hip powder flasks, and he's got bare legs. So that's him. Another blunderbuss, and they did have a fair amount of blunderbusses actually. So a lot of these guys, they were issued with them. Full on brown, little powder barrel. They're really nice figures. Again, these slightly chunky figures that you can get with front rank, they lend themselves well to doing a lot of details. I won't put any pictures up on this for the moment because they've got to be obviously based and varnished. I'm going to be basing all these singly, so people can use them as a skirmish. I might. I've got some spare movement trays actually, although you can guarantee they won't be the right fit for these guys. But if I have, I'll probably do them all in one and put them in for that, so people can move them around. But I thought rather than do them based as a group of figures, I'd actually do them as singles, so that people got the option to use them skirmish gaming if they wanted to. And they've all got, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have got these braids here, these like hair nets that they've got. And we've got this very Miami Vice pink and blue, pink and grey blue 1980s retro look. He's even got his earring in from the period. If I can actually get the pointy stick in some direction. Again, really nice figures, and they haven't taken too long to paint, you know. Sometimes you can go over the top with highlights. It really just depends what colours you're actually doing before you start changing them over. We'll have a quick squiz at some of these that haven't been completed yet. He's got like orangey brown gaiters, which again I've seen some artwork for in one of the books, uniform books. This guy I've done up in more or less a militia officer look, although he hasn't got any epaulets on, and it looks like he was designed to have braid of some description put over there. So I'm calling him a militia officer at the moment. I'm not 100% yet. I might just paint it as paint him as a what you call it, just a bog standard infantryman. I'm not sure yet, but that's only the base cut. That's only the base coat of red on him. Sorry guys, I've got a frog in my throat today. I've got a couple of Cape guys coming up. I've given him a highlight. This one, what did you highlight him in, Gav? Because under the light it's bouncing off. Hang on, yeah, that's the brown one. That's been highlighted in brown, which you can't see very well under the light. And he's got like a brown hat. I've still got to do the ribbon on that yet. So these are still a bit to go yet on these guys I'm showing you. This one's been done in deep sea blue highlight. These will be red pom-poms on his hat. And I've done some, rather than do the warm white, I wanted to show like a cold white. They had a lot of very light blue stripy trousers and check trousers, and to be fair, on these ones I didn't have the courage to actually do the checks, so I've gone for the plain stripes. But as we know, I've got about another 3 lots of Guerillas that I can paint over the coming year, so I'm sure I'll get the courage to do some check in amongst those. I've even thought of doing the check on his hat here. We shall see. As they say, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. And this guy here, this is a civilian jacket. We're just giving him, cuffs and collar with a different colour. So guys, thank you very much for taking a look at these 28mm front rank Spanish guerrillas from the Peninsular War, and hopefully we will catch each other again soon on another video. I have got some Harry Potter figures, one completed and another, well, we should say probably a third of the way through, so that'll be a video coming up pretty soon. And then I've got some other bits and pieces I need to show you as well that have come in the recent few days. So you take care of yourselves, you keep bashing on with those projects of yours. I hope they all go well, and we'll catch each other soon on another video. Cheers.